Good evening. This will be my midweek recap here for Apple. First off, you'll see a lot of notes here. This is a result of overtrading. If you're keeping track of your trades and it looks something like this, this is nowhere near 50 or 60 trades. However, this is simply overtrading for my purposes and how I like to trade. So going forward, you will not see this many notes on the chart again from me, hopefully, and I'll catch myself next time I do it and take a little step back as well. Now, with that said, price action opened up around my level here on Monday. Did not give a proper setup here. Didn't like this wick right here. Didn't want to short anything going into that. So I just waited. Set up a nice little range here. Bulls caught a nice bid, pushed it up, ran close to my resistance. Good enough to give me an entry here on some 157.5 puts at 126. I did get a little scared out of the position, took half off at VWAP, which was my plan initially, but I trailed the rest of it here really closely. So this 2-cent spike above the previous high triggered me out at 137. Could have really capitalized on this move as it came all the way down to about 220, 230, which would have been really close to my 100% gainers. As it turns out, that was not the case. Put in a nice consolidation here underneath VWAP. Once it broke below, took the 157.5 puts again at 178 out at 212. So I did capitalize on a lot of that move. Just could have done a little bit better. Into the day on Tuesday, I was still bearish, still below my level, still below the 8 EMA, 21 EMA, 50 SMA, all that stuff. So primarily was looking for bearish trades. And a nice push up here from the bulls throughout the day. Had a good break on some decent volume here. Got in some 157.5 puts again at 124. As it found support at VWAP, I let it have a little bit of wiggle room, came up because I didn't want to get triggered out again like I was over here. So my stop pretty much was just stayed up here the whole time. And once it found support at the VWAP again, put in a bottoming candle, I did close out at 126. Small little itty bitty gain, and just basically covered the commissions. At the same time I did that, I got into some 157.5 calls at 85 cents. Just because, there's a double bottom here at VWAP. It was a nice bull flag that was setting up, had a measured move that could have taken it up to almost 159, but that did not work out. As you can see, the next note over here, I was triggered out at 79 cents. So that was a small loss there. Once I knew I was wrong, it was time to get out. Last trade of the day here on Tuesday, got in some 155 puts here. The average was 43.5 cents. It wasn't the best setup as far as the candlesticks go for a sell signal. What I was trading on, my plan was for the 8 EMA crossing below the 21 EMA, which is a bearish algorithm signal. Usually will trigger in some sellers, just like this cross right here was bullish and pushed up for a nice gap up. That was my hope and plan for that trade. Ended up spiking up on the open, almost scared me out of the position, but I saw volume coming in up here. There was a lot of resistance overhead, and I knew if it wasn't going to go through 58, there was really nothing to worry about. So simply held on, carried it all the way down to 80 cents. Almost got my 100% gain. Could have if I held a little bit longer, but it is what it is. Still had a nice profit on the day. Second trade, the first trade I actually entered today on Wednesday right here was above this green hammer candle, and in some 157.5 calls at 48 cents. And as it came back down, took out that low, I got out at 37. So a little bit of a loss there, nothing really to write home about, just in a little bit too early. Sometimes these green hammer candles fail, but it is an indication that there could be a bounce coming. And as it turns out, later on in the afternoon, had a nice little pipe bottom right here, and went ahead and took a little bit of a longer hold play. Got in some 157.5 calls for next week, November 3rd at 275. I am holding these overnight. Even though there's likely to be that bearish 821 cross, I do like the way price action is just kind of holding, not falling down. Sellers aren't really getting much strength, but then again, neither are the bulls. So it's just in a range right now. It's nothing really to do, nothing really to write home about. Do have a little note right here. If price action does clear this level up above 157-ish, up to, what was this, 157.80, that's going to be very bullish in my opinion, because that means it's taking out the significant moving averages for my purposes, and it could potentially run up to 160. If it breaks this trend line over 160, could be in for a next leg higher. That's just planning much further ahead than the next couple of days. But as of right now, this would be my plan going forward. I'm going to take some of these levels off of here because they do no longer apply to anything that I'm looking at. And I like to keep my charts a little bit clean. And this will be my trade plan. So good luck.